Hi guys, welcome to today's episode of Kitchen Muse. I'll be showing you how to make Moin Moin in banana leaves. But sometimes some people don't find beans and are wondering what else they can use. Today I'll be showing you how to make Moin Moin with lentils. Now, lentils come in different colors and different shapes. Well, not shapes per se, but these ones are split. Some lentils you get are not split, they're whole. Whichever one you get is fine, and that would also depend on how long you need to soak it in water for. This one I'm going to soak for 30 minutes before I blend it with all the other things. So to start, I'll show you what ingredients we're going to be using. For your lentil Moin Moin, you'll be needing 1 cup of lentil, or depending on the quantity of Moin Moin you need to make. Some mackerel fish, some hard-boiled eggs, some salt, some ground crayfish, chopped onions. This is fresh pepper, tatashe, and onions. This is to blend the lentils, and some stock cube. Now I'll show you in what order we're going to use all of this. The first thing I'm going to do is to cook the mackerel fish. Now I'm going to show you how I do that, and this is so that I get some nicely flavored stock to mix my Moin Moin batter in. So first I'll place the fish in a pot, add some of the chopped onions, add some crayfish. Yes, I know, this is just to flavor the stock. So I'm going to add a little bit. I'm going to add some salt and some stock cubes. Actually, 1 stock cube. Actually, no, I used 2 stock cubes for this. And then I'll add some water. And just let this boil for about 5 minutes, or until the fish is cooked. Next, I'm going to blend the lentils. Now, this is the one I soaked for 30 minutes. It's all plumped, and it usually doubles in size once you've soaked it for that time. And then I'll blend it with some tatashe. I'm using 2, and 2 fresh pepper and some onions. Now you want to put some water in this. Unlike when you're making akara, the amount of water you put does not really matter. When you're making akara, you need the batter to come out thick, and then you can adjust it. But in Moin Moin, you can sort of, just still not put too much water. Just be mindful of the amount of water. Just take this off and see if it's smooth enough. Now, the way to know if it's smooth enough is when you feel it like this, it doesn't feel gritty, it feels really smooth. Now, this feels really smooth, and it's perfect. I'll just empty this into my bowl. I think the red lentils also give it a nice color. And did I mention, you can use the green or the brown lentils, but be aware that it would not look like this. It may look like a color that you don't want to touch, but if you can get past the color, it tastes just as good as the red lentil. So I have my Moin Moin paste in a bowl now. I've also deboned my fish, took out the bones and just crumbled it into nice chunky pieces. I also strained the stock from the fish to get a nice clean fish broth. So next I'm going to add my broth. I'll add some of it because I use quite a bit of water to blend the beans, and you don't want it too watery. I'll add some crayfish. You need some cooking oil to mix the Moin Moin paste with. This is about 3.5 cooking spoons, but I only put a couple, maybe 2 cooking spoons in. What I like to do when I'm making Moin Moin is to use the whisk attachment of my food processor to mix it. Now you can do this using omorogun or a wooden spoon, and that's just to incorporate air into the paste. But because I'm lazy, I like to use my whisk. And so I'll just do that now for, let's say, 2 minutes. Now I find that when you're making moi moi, it tends to get really salty really quickly. So you want to taste as soon as you add either salt or stock cubes or your fish broth or chicken broth if you're using that. I'm going to put in some of my chunky fish. I like cutting into it, and every bite is just filled with fish because I like Titus fish, so don't judge me. So I'll incorporate my fish chunks into the batter now, and you can stir the paste as much as you want, because what you end up with is a really nice fluffy moi moi once you have enough air incorporated into the mixture. I've washed and cleaned my moi moi leaves. I've taken all the stalks off, but I've kept them here because I placed them in the base of my pot. I don't have enough, but I'm going to use this anyway, and then take some of the leaves. Now you don't want to use, because in every bunch of moi moi leaves that you buy, there's always the funny ones that are dried or that have holes or whatever. So you want to save those ones and put them in the pot to line the pot. Now this is what I do. Put the stalks at the bottom and then put the not so great moi moi leaf, the ones I can't use to wrap the moi moi, put that on top and just put some water in the bottom. You don't want too much water because you're supposed to steam your moi moi, not boil it. So I'm going to place this on the stove now on medium heat. While the pot is on with the water in the bottom boiling, you take 2 leaves. You can use 1 or you can use 2. 1 medium one and 1 small one, depending on the sizes that you end up with. Place your hand on the back of it to sort of support the leaves, because you're going to roll it, so it needs that support at the back. You place the leaves this way and you want to roll it into a cone. Now when you're rolling it, you have to bear in mind that you need to keep the bottom tight as possible, well, as tight as you can, so that the moi moi doesn't leak. But you still, get to fold this bit, which sort of stops it from leaking. But when you roll it at first, you want to keep it as tight as possible. You can use your hand to make more room in the leaf like this. So this is what you end up with. Depending on the size that you want to make, that will depend on the number of spoons you use. So I'm going to put 2 of this size spoons in the leaf, and to cover it, this is how I do it. I start on one side and fold the other side over it and sort of bend it this way. Now people do it different ways. Once you start to do it, you just go with what works for you, and you place this in the pot. So I've just rolled the last piece of moi moi now. I'll place in the pot. Also, I'm going to top up the water because some of it has evaporated in the time it took me to wrap all of the moi moi. I'll just put a little bit and then cover it, still on medium heat, and let it steam for about 35 to 40 minutes. And I'll come and check it every now and again. Guys, so my moi moi is ready, and 2 things happened. So I cooked it for 10 minutes longer than I said I was going to cook it for. So it cooked for a total of 45 minutes, not 35. Also, I let it firm up for an extra 5 to 10 minutes just to get a firmness on it and for it to cool really. So this is what it looks like. It's made from lentils and not beans. I hope you guys will try out this recipe and let me know if you have any questions or suggestions regarding it, and if you get stuck or anything, if you need to know anything, just leave me your questions and I'll respond to them. Thank you for watching and hope to see you next time. Bon appetit. Book your tinkle, breakfast, lunch or dinner. Thank you for the seemingly little things, the tips and recipes that make life smoother as we celebrate 50 years. Join us in our journey of creating good food moments. Aww. I'm not going to use a lot of oil because canned coconut milk has a lot of oil in it, so when you start to cook in coconut milk, you see the oil starts to come out of the milk, and I don't want it too oily, so not a lot of oil.